You're watching News 12 now. This morning, your news now.
Welcome back. We here in Chattanooga are treated to one of the best rivalries in the state for high school football, Baylor and McCallie.
Yeah, this has been going on since 1906. It's one of the most heated rivalries anywhere throughout the Mid-South, and we're fortunate enough to have the headmasters of both great schools here joining us this morning. Gentlemen, introduce yourselves. I'm betting this guy over here is from Baylor and this one's from McCallie. What do you think?
How could you tell?
Man.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lee.
I think you're right. I'm Lee Burns, headmaster of McCallie.
And you are?
Scott Wilson, headmaster of Baylor.
When's the last time in a public forum you guys were in the same room together? I mean, on a television set or in a radio studio?
Well, this might be the first time we've done this kind of public.
Ever.
But we see each other. We see each other often. So I think we count ourselves as friends.
Jamal's got a
Absolutely.
couple of football-intensive questions here.
I mean, really, this is one of the best, if not the best, rivalry in the state. How has this thing grown over the past few years? If you're here in Chattanooga, you can't escape it. You see the flags flying. You know when it's the week of this game. I've gone to wrestling matches, and the floor is shaking. I don't even want to imagine what the field's going to be like tonight for the football game.
Yeah, sort of our version of the Iron Bowl or Carolina Duke basketball. I mean, for those of us involved in our two schools, it's really just this great intensity and excitement around it, but there's also mutual respect for the two schools, and so it's really, that's the foundation, worthy adversaries, opponents that bring out the best
Why is the
in each other.
emotional factor so high in this game?
I don't know. I think rivals bring out the best in each other, and that's been the case with our schools for 100+ years. And our kids, I mean, I remember I was at Baylor from 1969 to 1975, and we loved the rivalry back then in every sport, not just football.
And you want to talk about how emotional the game is. This rivalry was so intense for a while that it had to be called off for nearly 30 years.
That's correct. Revived it in the early 1970s, and I think it's nice that it's sort of gone back and forth between the two schools. It has been there've been some long streaks in the series of one school having a run for a while. The last several years, the home team in particular has done well. Hopefully that ends tonight.
No plans for that.
I got to tell you, one of the other things that Jamal and I were talking about is the videos that your respective schools put together in anticipation of this game. You guys give them any guidance, or do you just turn them loose?
Well, we've wanted to make sure that they stay clever and classy, and I think over the years, students at both schools have taken some playful jabs, at one another. But the main thing is really to support and build up your own school, and we want to again make sure that's all in good fun and in good spirit and so forth, but giving them a chance to do some kind of clever, fun things in a new media video.
We get to unveil ours today.
Good, look forward to seeing that. What kind of crowd are you guys looking at for this game between the ticket sales from both schools? And this is, as Jamal and I were also mentioning, I mean, alums who graduated 50 years ago, they're going to be at the game here tonight.
Yeah, we expect 1,500, 2,000 alums in town, to come in town for the whole weekend.
Yeah.
And a crowd tonight between 6,500, 7,000, somewhere in that.
Oh, I think that's
range.
light. I think that is.
It's going to be standing room only.
Oh,
I think it will be.
Beyond capacity.
If you
I
win
think
one
the fire
game,
marshal winks at us.
if you win one game all year, I'm sure this is the game that either school would want to win if it's just one of them. And talk about what this rivalry really means for all the student spirit on campus. It's been amping up since all week, actually all season. You're waiting for this game.
Yeah, really, it builds during the course of the week. I think both schools have bonfires and pep rallies and car smash and all kinds of really fun things. And certainly it's a more fun. It's more fun to win the game than lose the game, for sure. But either way, we'll get back to stuff. The
Sun
following
comes up
week.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Scholastically, you guys are at the top of the chart scholastically. Do you kind of ease back on the students a little bit on Friday before the game and on Monday afterwards? Because whether you win or whether you lose, that adrenaline rush is going to pump you for a couple of days.
There are classes held this week. There's not a lot of homework done this week. So, the reality is, we do have two great academic institutions, and that, of course, is what we're in the business to do. But this week is really a lot of fun, and we're both student-centered schools, so it's great to see the students enjoy it so much.
Jamal and I have time for one more question each. I'm going to save mine for last. You go ahead.
You sure you don't?
No, I want you to go ahead and ask, because you're the football expert for me.
Okay, with all these expected alumni, I mean, this is probably the biggest attendance game for either school when they're hosting it. What sort of preparations really go into hosting this thing? I'm sure this is the most difficult one to plan for because you really don't know how many people are going to be there, but you know it's going to be a lot.
Yeah. Well, you're hosting this year, so do you want to?
Yeah, months. I mean, months and months of preparation, and we're blessed in that Chip worked out a great forecast for us. So
with a blue sky, I will say.
But I did see a whole lot of red on that forecast, so I kind of like that. But it's going to be a beautiful evening, and our campus can accommodate a lot of folks. So it's going to be a great afternoon and evening.
All right, here's my question. Actually, it's a two-parter. You guys. Prediction?
Yeah, I'll predict a spirited, well-fought game.
There's the politically correct response. I want numbers.
In public, I would say that.
What about you?
Well, the last 4 or 5 games have not been close either way.
Yeah.
And I really think tonight we're going to break. Tonight's going to be close.
All right.
I think tonight's going to be really a tight game. These are two good teams.
Final question. We're going to give you guys the opportunity right now, right here, to settle the score. You want to do some arm wrestling just to see who's going to win between the headmasters?
Lee and I. One of the cool things is that we're both alums of our schools.
Definitely.
And he was a great tennis player. In fact, I got to watch him play tennis back in the '80s. I played basketball. I think I'd be confident playing basketball against him, but I would not want to take him on the tennis court.
We're not going to make you guys arm wrestle.
Okay.
We'd expand the show if you really wanted to. Seriously, it is, as we mentioned at the top of this interview, it is so good to see the two of you in the same room, calm, cool, collected, and it is great for our community. Gentlemen, thanks to you both.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate both of you coming in, and we'll actually have highlights.